I'm Jay Jackson. Welcome to WineNewsNoir.com. Thank you for watching and subscribing. We begin this episode in Cincinnati, Ohio, where the sold-out Cincy Black Wine Festival is getting high praise from a highly respected source. I talked with the founder of the event, who says the only way to go now is up. If you sipped a glass of wine or two at the Cincinnati Black Wine Festival last year, you sipped a bit of history. After its first year, the festival landed the number 4 spot on USA Today's coveted Best New Festival list of 2024. But for one person, number 4 isn't quite good enough.
The competitive nature of me, obviously, the athlete is like, no, I want to be number 1. But
Natasha Williams is the creator of Cincy Black Wine Fest.
it is a festival featuring only Black-owned brands and producers. And it is a festival to introduce these brands to not just the consumer, but some of the key stakeholders and players here in the industry, so we can get these brands on the shelves and on menus and get them moving more here in the city.
This year, 30 brands will be pouring at the festival, up from 26 last year. A crowd of more than 1,000 people are expected, up from 600 in 2023. All signs of a bright future.
It's really exciting to see the interest that people have in these brands because they aren't aware of some of these brands. And I think as we continue to grow, my hope is that the passion that I have for these brands, the consumer grabs for these brands, and even, these stakeholders and key leaders, so that we can get them on shelves and on menus. And this isn't the only time that people get to see them and try them and taste them.
In Oakland, California, another Black Wine Festival is gearing up for an afternoon of tasting. That's where the 13th annual Black Vines Festival will be held. It will feature dozens of Black winemakers and local artists from the Bay Area. The festival was named the #1 wine festival in the country several years ago. More than 1,500 people are expected to attend. In South Africa, Black winemakers have been making a name for themselves for years now, producing award-winning wines and managing prestigious vineyards. Now, thanks to a duo of luxury lifestyle experts, the world will be getting a close-up look at them, close and personal. From Aslina to Black Elephant to Seven Sisters, Black-owned wine brands from South Africa are gaining worldwide fame and respect. And one new company wants to give you an up-close and personal look at who these brands are and what they do.
We love wine, we love travel, we love South Africa.
Chris Caldwell and a business partner launched Obsidian Wine Vacations, what's believed to be the first of its kind luxury 10-day wine vacation featuring South Africa's premier Black-owned wineries, the key word being luxury.
Some of the highlights of the trip that we really are looking forward to are our winemaker dinners. So we have a private chef that comes to our accommodations where we all are held up, typically on a beachfront penthouse overlooking the ocean in whether Sea Point or Camps Bay, something like this. The winemaker comes to the place, opens up their wines, shares their wines with us, as well as the private chef who has paired the wines for the food that he or she is making. And then we also have a sommelier that's present. So the sommelier goes around the table, pours the wine, gives you an idea of how to profile the wine, what it tastes like.
Caldwell says travelers will also spend a night in a winery, brunch with winemakers, and wander through their vineyards. He says winemakers are just as excited to welcome out-of-country guests.
So we have paired and partnered with Black winemakers, up-and-coming winemakers who have been in the business for years and years and years, female winemakers from other countries that are here in South Africa, like Zimbabwe, notable winemakers and wine professionals.
The goal, says Caldwell, is to be the world's go-to source for South African wine vacations for the African diaspora. And with reservations already filling up, that goal might easily be reached.
We rarely are able to meet the winemaker, hear their point of view on how the wine got made, about the harvest, all the technicalities of wine, as well as their passion and why they make wine. So this is what really got us excited about it. We felt, we love it. I think other people would love it too.
For more information on pricing and how to sign up, go to their website, obsidiantravel.club. They also have special packages for the LGBTQA communities. A great glut, a white wine wonder, and a shocking suicide. Here are the top stories for this month's Wine in a Minute. The powerful Allied Grape Growers Association says California is growing too many wine grapes. Officials say farmers need to rip out up to 50,000 acres of vines to keep from flooding the market. They say millions of dollars of wine could be lost if current levels go unsold. The famed Chateau Margaux is releasing a second line of white wine to be called Pavillon Blanc Second Vin. It's basically made up of the grapes not quite good enough for their award-winning white wine Pavillon Blanc, produced since 1920. It's only the fifth white wine from the prestigious First Growth Chateau. Family members and friends are mourning the death of Napa Valley Farm Bureau CEO Ryan Klobus. He apparently shot himself to death January 16th in the town of Orinda. He had been a member of the influential body since 2017. Colleagues describe him as a tireless advocate for the farming and agricultural community. Klobus was 46 years old. A South Central Los Angeles winemaker is on a mission to change the face of wine one sip at a time. Her Generational Wealth Wines brand is drawing crowds up and down the California coast and across the country. I chatted with the entrepreneur about a recent stop in the City of Champions. You can tell by the name, Generational Wealth Wines is not your typical wine brand. And the creator, Kiana Kid Goings, is not your typical winemaker.
You can say that.
The name literally comes from my experience growing up. I'm first generation to graduate college, first generation homeowner, and first generation business owner. And so I wanted something that was reflective of my life and what I'm trying to create. I want to build generational wealth for my family through this brand and instill that in other families in our culture.
You are working from home.
And on this night, she's doing it at 1010 Wine and Events in Inglewood, California, holding court with more than 100 wine lovers, dropping wine science and giving them something to think about when the night is over.
I want people to go home and have the conversation with their families, think about all the ways that they can create wealth with what they have, and if they don't already have something, to start thinking about that. We are the generation that's going to inflict change, and we really need to think about those that are going to come after us, and that is the whole foundation of what our brand is built upon.
Kid Goings Crenshaw Chardonnay was the star of this Meet the Winemaker event. Her Rosecrans Rosé is already a hot seller here. Growth that's fitting for a winemaker whose focus is all about expanding the vineyard.
It is so important for Black winemakers to make themselves visible. There's less than 5% Black winemakers, and I'm here to really increase diversity among not only African Americans, but women. And so what we need the community to do is to show up for us, spread the word and let people know we are here, but we can't do it on our own. We need our community and our culture to support us along the way.
You can learn more about the brand at generationalwealthwines.com. And finally, we go to San Francisco, where congratulations are in order for McCarter Cellars. The one-year-old brand was awarded a double gold rating at the prestigious San Francisco Chronicle wine competition. You might remember WineNewsNoir.com featured the founder, Dennis McCarter, early in 2023 when he went from amateur winemaker to store shelves as a pro. Well, in just 1 year, their 2022 Forcini Pinot Noir took home the double gold. Here's video of the moment McCarter heard the good news.
Okay, the Pinot Noir, our very first Pinot Noir that Dennis made, got double gold at the SF Chronicle.
I did it.
Show expression.
I'm doing the best that I can just not to cry. I'm going to cry, so.
Do it.
No.
Are you kidding me? That's such a big deal.
Yeah.
You did it.
We needed a breakthrough wine to get on the map. And this is it.
McCarter will be pouring the award-winning wine on the 17th of this month at the Chronicle's public tasting event. For more information, go to winejudging.com. And that's going to do it for this episode of WineNewsNoir.com. Please remember to visit our sponsors on our website. Thank you for watching and subscribing. I'm Jay Jackson. Cheers.